Morning, everyone. Before I get started, you've heard me say this before, and I know that we are all on very busy, tight schedules all the time. Not just the pilots, but the staff included. And for me, I can just say that for the last 5 months, it's pretty much been meeting, conference, seminar, meeting, conference, seminar. And it's been the same way for the other 3 officers. And I know that everything that's going on in your properties is extremely important to you. But, as I always say, it's coming up to summer. So make sure that you remember your family, take a little bit of time, enjoy yourselves, decompress, and then let's get back at it again. So with that, I will say, good morning, brothers and sisters, and welcome to the 116th regular meeting of the ALPA Executive Board. As your Vice President of Administration, it's my job to always be looking forward. I do this to anticipate the association's membership needs and to make sure we're on the right course. Today, I want to talk about some of the ways we are preparing for the future. I'm going to discuss changes we're implementing to improve the efficiency and productivity. I also want to talk about the future of our profession. But first, let's take a look at the membership numbers. As of May 1st, ALPA represents 51,463 pilots at 30 carriers. This breaks down to 43,623 active members, 3,963 apprentice or reactivated members, and 686 members on furlough. By the way, we plan to go paperless for the next regular meeting this fall. All Executive Board documents will be available in an e-notebook version through SharePoint. Any of you who still want a traditional notebook can check a box when you register. Since we last met, the CanJet pilots have moved into custodianship. Also, Canadian North has been furloughing pilots. We're watching both of these situations carefully. ALPA's membership numbers tell us a lot about the airline industry and our profession. As you can see, the projected member retirements represent opportunities for our 14,000 fee-for-departure pilots. That, coupled with the anticipated growth for these carriers, is good news for our members who are seeking to fly at a larger airline. I'll talk more about this situation and what it means for ALPA later. Making improvements for our organization includes updating existing systems. As of today, ALPA is launching the new public website. In a world run by smartphones and tablets, this is our organization's public face for our travelers, legislators, and aviation industry colleagues. It's a megaphone for what pilots want the public to know and care about. The new web platform is supported by Sitecore and is more responsive. That means it's smart enough to automatically adjust to whatever device you have as access. The public website has a new look. It's easier to navigate. It offers new features like a dynamic search function. I know that both our staff in IT and communications have been working very hard to meet this launch date, and I want to thank them. These groups, along with other departments and pilot groups, will now shift their focus to the next phase, ALPA's member-only website. I'll update you on the status of this project in October. And speaking of electronic upgrades, this Executive Board will vote on a resolution to consider the implementation of an electronic membership card. The administrative manual requires us to mail out membership cards every 4 years. In December 2011, the last time we did this, the expense was $62,000. In addition, it costs about $15,000 a year for additional card mailings. To save the association money and streamline this process, the ALPA Membership Committee and the Executive Council recommend we institute a smartphone app to replace the plastic card. The app contains all of the same information, but would never be out of date. And for those pilots who haven't embraced smartphones, we still offer plastic cards. Please see the resolution for more details. ALPA's Education Committee has been busy since we last met. The Executive Council recently appointed United First Officer Mark Haley as the new committee chairman. I want to thank Mark for his willingness to serve. The former chair, Costas Civilis, is stepping down because United hired him. I want to thank Costas for his hard work, and I look forward to his return after his probationary period is over. The Education Committee's nearly 600 pilot volunteers have been actively supporting events like the Women in Aviation Conference, student field trips to Delta and United, ACE Club meetings at Embry-Riddle and Purdue, and visits to Auburn, Lewis University, Kent State, and Middle Tennessee State University. This work is vital because these university relationships represent the pipeline of new pilot recruits for our airlines and union. Preparing for the future also means anticipating snags along the way. One of the ways we prepare for challenges is through our ALPA Emergency Relief Fund, or Pilots for Pilots. We need to make sure our members know about this important resource. I'm asking all of you to consider posting the link to P4P on your MEC websites. And here's another way you can help. P4P is planning a fundraising campaign starting June 1st. It's called Give Me Five, and we're asking every member to contribute at least $5. The campaign will run through the end of summer. Please support this campaign and mention it in your communications. As P4P Director, United First Officer Mark Siegeloff says, we're all just a disaster away from needing P4P. ALPA programs train pilot leaders and volunteers to effectively perform their ALPA duties. With over 100 pilots participating, February's Leadership Training Conference had the highest attendance level since I've been VP. We had an engaged group, and they left truly impressed. This type of training is important right now because ALPA is experiencing a leadership vacuum at our fee-for-departure carriers. Pilot leaders are leaving at a rapid rate. These departures underscore the importance of having proper training for the next pilot leaders. I want to congratulate Delta Captain David Farmer and the other members of the Leadership Committee, as well as the staff who coordinate this annual event. Just last week, our membership committee held a training seminar. We had 24 attendees from 14 carriers. These volunteers are often the first ALPA face new hire pilots see. We want our membership volunteers to have the knowledge and the resources to get the job done. I want to thank United First Officer Yolanda Winfleet for the great work she is doing as the membership chair. Through her leadership, the committee is developing the ALPA app to help our new members better understand how our union works. I've talked about how ALPA is anticipating member needs, some of the ways we're improving our products and services, and how we prepare our pilots to better serve our association. Now I want to shift gears and talk about the future of our profession. As your Vice President of Administration, I often think about what we need to do to make this career better, to leave this profession better than we found it, and I often ask myself, what will be the legacy? What legacy will we leave behind as ALPA leaders? While attending this year's IF-ALPA conference in Madrid, one of the presenters discussed a survey given to students entering college in both North America and Europe. The survey asked the students to rank careers by interest. Airline pilot came in 13th. Up in Grand Forks, a friend of mine who works for the University of North Dakota tells me that U.S. student applications continue to go down. Foreign students are picking up the slack. More and more young people from overseas are attending the U.S. college aviation programs, earning their pilot licenses, graduating, and going to work for our foreign competitors. Keep in mind that hiring requirements are lower in many of these countries. These students come to North America because we have the best training. But of these events, and others like them, tell me that we have a problem on our hands. Fewer and fewer young Americans are interested in becoming airline pilots. Many young people in North America are deciding that they don't want to pay $200,000 for a job that pays $20,000. The pilot pay shortage is leading to what we said would happen, a real pilot shortage. If you don't believe me, look at the fee for departure carriers. Some of them are already offering signing and retention bonuses. This is nothing more than a Band-Aid. And lowering minimum flight hours won't address the bigger problem of finding interested job candidates. Implementing this change would only threaten safety. Some fee-for-departure airlines are looking at ways to provide aviation students with a clear career path. My own carrier has partnered with several colleges to create a program to recruit and mentor these students. These ideas represent a good start, but we need to address the larger problem of making the profession more attractive. And the reality is, no one is going to effectively address this problem until the major airlines can't fill pilot vacancies. If this happens, what are the airlines going to do? Hire pilots from overseas? Change the cabotage rules? There's lots of options out there, and I see very few from where I sit. We need to talk about this. We need to do more to broaden our perspective, to find real solutions. Maybe we need to work with our airlines to find new ways to communicate to young people that being an airline pilot is a great career, not just a job. Maybe we need to work with government to look at how we can better the profession and make it stable. ALPA is hosting a pilot supply symposium on June 25th. This forum gives us an opportunity to talk about the critical situation. It's also an opportunity to generate industry support as well as national attention. As pilot leaders, we need to think about what ALPA can do to make the profession the draw it once was. We have a window of opportunity, but we have to act soon. The sound you hear is the domestic airline pilot job balloon deflating. And thousands of foreign nationals are lining up to take the profession from us, and we can't let that happen. Thanks for your attention. Please come and see me during one of the breaks if you have more questions.